Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Gallion of Heroic Power Entertainment and welcome to our breakdown of the trailer for Spider-Man Homecoming. This is the trailer that was aired on Jimmy Kimmel Live, not the international trailer, just FYI. Now when this trailer begins, we get a good few cool shots of New York, assumedly Queens, kind of in the same vein of the Netflix series in a way, where it's very nice and atmospheric. It seems to have a really cool aesthetic going for it, and I look forward to seeing that a lot in the movie. The trailer then cuts to some burglars who are burgling what seems to be ATMs, using what might be technology derived from possibly Ultron or Chitauri technology. Chitauri being the aliens that were in the first Avengers movie. As the trailer goes on, we see a little bit of Spider-Man's fighting style as well as comedy, and Tom Holland is really knocking it out of the park, because this seems to be the most comic accurate Spider-Man we've really gotten so far. From there, the trailer moves on to where this movie's probably going to differ a lot more than, say, a lot of the other Spider-Man films are, where it's going to be heavily centered around the setting of high school, taking a very John Hughes vibe, according to Kevin Feige. We also see that Homecoming is not only just a cheeky reference to Spider-Man finally being returned to Marvel, but it's also going to be a major plot point in the film. In this trailer, we get to see two of the main side characters as well, being Ned Leeds and Liz Allen. Liz Allen will probably be the main love interest for the entire film, possibly, and Ned Leeds seems to be taking the best friend role for Peter Parker. Now, a big mystery going into this film is who Zendaya is playing. We only get a few seconds of her in this trailer, but from the few seconds that we get, she really doesn't seem really like Mary Jane as a character. She said that she was playing a character named Michelle, so it's possible that she's playing Michelle Gonzalez, but we really don't know until we get into the movie. Let me know who you guys think she's playing in the comments below. Now, another fun thing we can speculate on is Tony Stark's role in the film. From the trailer, he seems to be playing a bit of a mentor and surrogate father kind of role for Peter Parker as he comes into his own as a hero. Actually, if you look close enough, you can see that he still has his black eye from Civil War, meaning that this movie probably only takes place maybe a few weeks after Civil War. One cool thing to note is that Bruce Banner and Howard Stark can both be seen in Peter Parker's high school in murals and pictures, most likely being noted as notable scientists in their fields. What we see next is really interesting to me because we find out that in the film, Ned discovers who Peter is, and I say discover, he sees Peter in the suit, and finds out that he's Spider-Man, so he knows his secret identity. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out in the film and the future films to come, because in the comics, Ned Leeds actually goes on to become the Hobgoblin. So it'll be interesting to see how they play with him knowing Peter's secret identity. One of the next most notable shots that we see is what appears to be Spider-Man climbing up the Washington Monument. Now, if you don't know, the distance between New York City and Washington, D.C., where the Washington Monument is located, it's pretty steep, not gonna lie. It's a big distance. So it'll be interesting to see how Spider-Man gets to Washington, D.C., and if it has to do with something with the Sokovia Accords or not. And here it is where we finally get to see the reveal of the Vulture. And he looks absolutely fantastic. He looks terrifying, and I really like the new design of the costume. Still has a few of the designs from the original comic suit, and I really just can't wait to see him in this film, especially since Michael Keaton is playing it. Now, back at the Washington Monument, it seems that the police are trying to get a 360 no-scope on Spider-Man. Lame Call of Duty joke aside, it does seem that the police are trying to actually snipe Spider-Man. Again, this might be pointing to the Sokovia Accords. Possibly Spider-Man switches sides in this, or I don't know, maybe it's just something completely different. We'll have to wait and find out. Also in this scene, we get one of the greatest things ever in any Spider-Man movie, the freaking web pits! My gosh, you have no idea. I wanted to see that since I was a kid. I'm so happy that Marvel's putting it in the film. It looks like he might be using it to glide, or it might just be an aesthetic thing, like how it was in the comics, because they had absolutely no purpose in the comics. It'll be interesting to see how they go in the movies. Now, a little bit deeper on in the film, we see a scene of a criminal who's like shooting another one of the weapons, like kind of how we saw in the beginning of the film. Now, if you look at his sleeves, they're kind of quilted like the Shockers were. And I know Bokeem Woodbine was rumored to be playing the Shocker, and in the international trailer we see him with what seemed to be Shocker gauntlets on and the same kind of quilt, kind of shirt, sweater, jacket thing. So it'll be interesting to see if we get two Shockers or if it's a part of a gang or whatever. But more importantly to me, next to him is standing Mr. Childish Gambino himself, Mr. Donald Glover. I said Donald Glover. Donald Glover. Donald Glover's someone completely different. Donald Glover's right next to him, and he seems to be looking a little bit sinister? Question mark? It'll be interesting to see if he's maybe playing the Prowler, Miles Morales' uncle, or maybe another villain, or if he's actually just playing someone else or a hostage in the situation. Again, we don't know, and we won't know until the film comes out. Now, in some of the other scenes that we get after that, we see Spider-Man in what seems to be his original suit, the one that he was wearing before he got the new fancy one in Civil War, made by Tony Stark. Now, it'll be interesting to see if maybe this is a flashback scene, or possibly the new suit gets torn up by the Vulture or one of the other villains and he has to go back to the suit he had beforehand. Now, another interesting scene that we see is Michael Keaton out of the Vulture suit, talking to someone, and the trailer makes it seem like it's Spider-Man, where he's saying, "Don't mess with me, and I'll kill your whole family," you know, that kind of thing, you know, usual villain stuff. And so it's interesting to maybe think maybe he knows Spider-Man's secret identity, because in the next scene, we see Spider-Man in his original suit again with his mask off. So it'll be interesting to know or see if he does know his identity, and if he does, well, he's probably going to die at the end of the movie. So I'm really interested to see. I hope he doesn't find out his identity, and I hope he lives to see the end of the film, so hopefully we can get a Marvel Sinister Six movie, because that would be absolutely awesome. Right here, right before the title card for the trailer, we see, assumedly, Vulture blowing a fairy in half, and then Spider-Man having to hold it together. Very, very reminiscent of the scene in Spider-Man 2 where Spider-Man has to stop the train before it crashes in New York. I'm really excited to see this scene, and it looks so cool. Now, right after the title card, we see this really awesome flash of what seems to be Spider-Man and Iron Man swinging and flying together through New York. This is super exciting, but I've seen a few people speculate online that maybe they're not swinging together, or well, swinging and flying together. Maybe Iron Man is chasing Spider-Man, but if you watch it really slowly, it doesn't seem to be the case. But again, we won't know until the movie's finally out, and I cannot wait until it is. Thank you for watching my breakdown, and we hope you subscribe, like, and, you know, all the usual YouTube. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, Joe here. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe so you can get notified when we upload a review, podcast, or other video. If you'd like, you can follow the channel at Heroic Power ENT on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can catch Chase at Chase.Galleon1 and me at Captain JSSG on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And for Heroic Power Entertainment, see you next time.